In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can craft an insane bone helmet. Now, this bone helmet is catered towards minion builds which are converting physical damage to cold damage, but you can take this concept and apply this to any type of craft for your bone helmet. When talking about creating a bone helmet, you have a couple options. If you're converting your minion damage to cold using a 3 or 4 green socket triad grip, you'll want a Shaper and Elder bone helmet base. We'll go over how you can craft that in just a minute. But if you're playing some type of physical or impale minion build like carrion golems or fizz zombies, you also have another option. You can craft an Elder bone helmet, and you don't need to worry about adding influence of Shaper to the helmet. This is a few exalts less costly, and it's much easier to craft. We'll start by showing how to craft a cold bone helmet. Often, this is the preferred choice for Spectre builds. The least expensive way to do this is to buy an item level 86 Shaper bone helmet, an Awakener's orb, and any item level Elder helmet. This cost me just about 401 chaos. Okay, so let's get our bases for this craft. So you're going to need to get a bone helmet, so just type in bone helmet in the search, scroll down, go to item level 86, and then set the Shaper influence to yes. Now, when you search, it can be a white helmet, it can be a blue, it can be a yellow, it doesn't actually matter. In this case, the Shaper bone helmet at item level 86 is 35 chaos. Once you buy this, you're going to want to go and find a Elder influenced helmet at any item level. So we're going to go to our next tab here, get rid of the bone helmet, you don't need that, and then you can set the item category to helmet. You're going to scroll down, remove the item level if you have it still there, remove the Shaper influence, just set that to any, and then you can do Elder influence and say yes. So you'll see the price of these is 1 alchemy, 1 chaos. Expect to pay 1 chaos for this. Next, you're going to look for Awakener's orb. And Awakener's orb is relatively expensive, so keep this in mind when you're starting this craft. These are not real prices. Neither is this 2 exalt. Honestly, you're probably going to pay somewhere between 2.5 and 4 exalts for an Awakener's orb, but it's worth it. Destroy this item. There's our base. So just as you saw in the clip before this, you can take the Awakener's orb and take the influence out of the Elder item and give that to your Shaper item, which will give you a Shaper Elder base. This is exactly what you need, and it's very simple to do. Once you have this base, you're going to start rolling bound fossils, and this is going to help by giving you opportunities to get +3 minion gems, minion damage, and ideally, minion life. Oh my god, it's so close. So close. Oh man. It would be so good if we hit this in the first view. So nice. Is this okay? The answer to my question is yes, it is okay. In fact, that's actually a really good roll to get. And you may not be that lucky. You may actually end up getting a +3 minion gems, which is pretty much mandatory, and a minion damage, and that's still fine. Just know that you're not gonna get a minion life. You can, however, augment something like increased area of effect, any other prefix that would be valuable to your character, anything like that. But really, what you're looking for is a minion damage and +3 minion gems. Okay, so we're in Craft of Exile, and we just added a bunch of modifiers onto the item, just as if it was a random item that we had bound fossil rolled. It has +3 socketed minion gems and are supported by level 16 minion damage. So this is really what we're looking for, right? This is something that we would stop on. Unfortunately, it has another prefix. It has the attributes modifier, which is a bit of a bummer, and it also has the suffix modifier of attack. So to start the craft, we actually need to remove one of the suffixes. So what we can do is we go to annul So we're in harvest crafting, annul, and attack, and this would remove the accuracy rating. So we remove the accuracy rating just as we would in game, and then we would go to benchcraft suffixes, and we would add cold resistance on here. So this is a benchcraft, right? This is going to cost us one transmute shard, or one transmute orb to craft this. So we craft this little cold resistance, and then we go back to bench crafting. So we need to have a cold, and we need to augment. If we augment this cold on here, there is only one option for us. So if we go to the mod pool suffixes, there's only one option for us to craft here, and it's this one, this cold modifier of hypothermia. So yeah, you can just take a look. There's no other cold options here. We're basically forcing hypothermia onto the item. So augment cold, and we get hypothermia. Unfortunately, it's level 16, but that's the luck of the draw. Now what we can do is we can replace this cold with something we actually need. You know, we'll just go to our benchcraft and we'll just remove that modifier. Not a big deal at all, and we can do that. So in the video before this, you actually saw the correct way to add hypothermia onto your item. In our case, we got extremely lucky because we used a add and remove Portercraft on our helmet when all we had was a cold res. And so this makes it so you have like a 1 in 20 chance to get hypothermia, and we just happened to hit hypothermia on our item. This is not, the way that we're doing it in this next video is not the way to do this. You want to follow the thing that we did in the video before this one. Okay. I can't believe we're doing it. This is the right one, right? This is 81. Or is 83 the highest here? Please don't add spell damage. Oh my god, please don't add spell damage. Yes! Yes! Oh my god. So this is where we stopped for now. We got our hypothermia, we had minion life, minion damage, and +3 to minion gems. We kind of stopped here, but there are some other things we can do to increase the value of the bone helmet. It's just, it takes a little bit more. So let's go into the Craft of Exile just to kind of show you what we could do with the bone helmet we were using before and make that a better helmet. Okay, so we're back in Craft of Exile, and we're looking at this bone helmet as we had left it before. What we're going to do now is just remove the cold resistance so that we can see where we're at. We have 3 prefixes, 2 suffixes. We really want to get rid of this prefix here. It's definitely one of the ones, it's not going to give us much value. I mean, maybe you'd get something on Desecrate. But so what we're going to do is we're just going to go to Harvest Craft, and we are going to annul chaos. And there's only one thing here. It's chaos. You could also potentially do a replace caster. You know, then you have a possibility of getting where is this? The crit chance suffix. This one here. So you have a possibility of getting this by doing a replace caster, but you also have the possibility of getting the added cold damage to spells. So, you know, take your pick. Personally, I would do annul chaos, and I think that's probably the best thing to do. Then you could just do an augment life, and you know, maybe you're running life. If you're running like a full ES build, you could do augment defenses, get something like this, increased armor and energy shield. That would be, you know, somewhat valuable. It's tier 4. You'd have to keep replacing, you know, if you wanted to move up to tier 1, you could just continue doing add remove defenses, and maybe someday you'll get you know, tier 2, like something like this, pretty decent. Well, this one's not that great, but you know, you get the point. You replace the defenses. Anyways, so yeah, you're kind of left with your prefixes like this. What you can do now, if you want to get a suffix, I think the best one here is socketed spells have plus minus to critical strike chance for spells, and I think this one's probably pretty good. So what you can do is just augment caster, and there is only one suffix available on this item, right? You can't roll any more prefixes, but you can roll one more suffix. So you could do augment caster, and you can get the critical strike chance. Now, I mean, you know, you probably don't want just plus 1%, so you would just do a replace caster, and hopefully you'd get a tier 1, which like we did here with the plus 3. But yeah, I mean, this is basically how you go about making a better bone helmet. I would definitely wear something like this. I think this is overall pretty good. Okay, so we talked about how we can create a cold bone helmet, but let's talk about how you can make a very simple Elder Fizz Impale type helmet. This one's pretty simple. You basically just need a bone helmet that has Elder Influence, and then you can just roll bound fossils on it until you get the modifiers you're looking for. From there, you do pretty much harvest crafting, add any defenses for your character that you want, anything like that, and yeah, that should be good to go. Okay, so we're back in Craft of Exile on the emulator screen here. We're gonna create a new item. We're gonna do the helmet, strengthen int, go down to bone helmet, select this. We want something that's level 86. In this case, we're only gonna do an elder helmet, and we're gonna proceed. So we have our elder helmet here. This is great. What we want is to get, most likely for elder, area damage is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, it's a concentrated effect. But you know, I think something like this would still be pretty valuable. You could do increased area of effect, you know, minion damage, minion life. That would be a really, really good roll if you got something like that. And then you definitely want the where is it, minion gems here. So what you're gonna do is basically just go to fossil crafting. You're gonna do bound fossils, not aberrant, and then we're just gonna roll this. So yeah, let's roll through this. So this is a pretty decent one. Minion gems and minion life. Concentrated effect, minion life. Minion damage, minion gems. You could do something like this. And then maybe you could do something like, let's see, you could roll life modifiers. You could maybe do some augments on life modifiers. Try and get one of these. I guess you'd have to remove this this defenses to be able to do an augment there. This one again, it's pretty decent. You wouldn't really want, I mean, this one's kind of wasted. This one is also wasted. This one's okay, but you probably want higher minion level. But this does, you know, this is a pseudo 6 link here. So yeah, I would probably stop on this one. You know, this is pretty good. You get minion damage, plus 3 socketed minion gems, concentrated effect. Then you have this immolate, but you can just remove the fire here on the suffix. So yeah, let's just stop on this one. Let's go to harvest crafting. We are going to remove fire, so annul fire, and we'll just annul that. So now we have 3 open prefix or open suffixes here. So what we could do is we probably want something like this. So what we're gonna do is look and see if there are any other physical. There are no other physical here. So we can just do an augment physical, and there we go. We actually caught an insane roll. We got the 9% increased fizz life. Actually, insane is doesn't really matter because there's only one tier. So anyways, we get this guy here. That would be really good. And then this one actually isn't that valuable for us because carrying golems is not an attack. It's not an attack gem, so it doesn't actually do anything for us. At this point, what I would do is probably go for some resistances. I would, you know, depending on what your character needs, most likely chaos is going to be the most valuable for you. So you can just augment chaos. And this is a terrible roll. I would definitely go and find a replace here and hopefully replace. This is pretty good at tier 2. So yeah, this one seems pretty good. You know, at this point we could do another augment. We could do a bench craft. You know, maybe we want some more armor and energy shield. Maybe we want some life. We could just bench craft on a suffix here. Yeah, so yeah, probably this one would actually be pretty good. Do something like this. But yeah, I think there's a lot. It all really depends on what your character needs. Obviously, I made a bit of a mistake there. You actually can't craft any of the prefixes because you're at 3 prefixes. So we're looking at suffixes. We can see what we need. You could do fire and chaos if you want more chaos resistance on here. Alternatively, you can just continue doing harvest crafts on here and just see what gems you're looking for. You're really just trying to do these types or the tags and just link them up and see which ones you can actually get. I think, your best case, get a bench craft if you have 1 open suffix, and then craft what it is you need on your suffix. And yeah, I think that should be pretty good. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Please like and subscribe. And please find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/xwallyex. You can ask me any questions. We can talk about minion builds. We're also playing a Blade Vortex Herald of Ash build, which is pretty fun. So yeah, stop by, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you next time.